Welcome to the Spirit, Mind and Soul podcast. Today I'm speaking to Victoria, who is an intuitive life and business coach. And Victoria shared how she found herself and her passion after going through a challenging and painful divorce, and about how she now uses her work to empower other women. We spoke about all things spiritual and her psychic abilities and all the things that I am just fascinated with. So I hope you enjoy this conversation as much as I enjoyed hearing Victoria. Hi Victoria, thank you so much for joining me today to share your story. I know that you have an empowering message that you want to share. So can you tell me life before divorce, before the work that you're doing now is fairly different from what you were doing before. So can you tell us a bit about life before marriage and divorce and the work that you were doing? What was life like?
Of course, and well, let's start by saying thank you for asking me to come and speak today. I'm really looking forward to sharing my story and hopefully having a really important impact on people listening to this. So let me take you back before divorce to the early days. So I think growing up, I feel like I really need to touch on this a little bit. For me, growing up, I've always been really inquisitive around people. Nosy, I think that's what I was lived as, but really interested in people and what they like and what they don't like. So I left school and went straight to work for the government. So I worked for the HMRC, and I really never felt fulfilled at all, to be honest with you. It was I thought it was a really good job to jump into. It felt stable. And family members, particularly my parents, would say, "Oh, it's a really good job for you. It's great. What an opportunity." So I sort of fell into that. But it didn't take me too long to realise that no matter what department I worked in, I just never felt fulfilled at all. So working in the HMRC, I then moved into working for the DWP, and it was at that time when things started to change for me. So a new department, a department for working pensions, and a position as a job coach. So that was my first taste then of doing sort of coaching and that lovely interaction with people. So it was from that opportunity that I realised, oh my gosh, I just love being face to face with people. I love understanding the real depth of who they are, particularly helping them to find work. But that real investment for me was all around, what do you really want to do? So it didn't go down too well, particularly because you've got a lot of targets to hit when you work for a government office. It's like, you've got to get them in, you've got to get them out, get them off the books. And I was like, sustainability, let's get them into the right places. But I always felt I could connect to them on a level and understand what they were really desiring and what would make them happy. And the thing is, I felt really restricted working in those positions. I couldn't be who I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And it was all, and what played out there, and I'll touch on this as we move a little bit later on into the work that I'm doing now, is I wasn't listening to what I was feeling and what was really going on. And that then manifested in stress and anxiety, because I was feeling so unfulfilled. It wasn't where I was supposed to be going. So I had a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety going on, and I realised after probably about 12 months of feeling like this, I have to leave, I've got to go. And it was also at that time, I would say around about that sort of period of, I'm not fulfilled in work, my marriage is falling to pieces, which it was. I didn't feel fulfilled with friendships. It felt like everything was out of sync. Literally everything around me was, I was a mum to two beautiful kids. That felt good. But I just felt so unfulfilled. Literally so unfulfilled. But allowing myself to listen to what was happening and trust, which was a big one for me, trusting what I'm feeling, what I'm hearing, what I'm telling myself, and allow myself to take action from that place rather than fearing, what will people think? Is this what I should be doing? what does my husband at the time think? What does my mother think? What does my sisters think? What do my friends think? And this is a big part of the work that I do, which I'll again touch on a little bit further down. So going through and being able to walk away from my marriage was a really big decision. I know if anybody's listening to this and feeling that feeling unfulfilled, and there was, we tried. There was times when we looked at how, looking at different ways of therapy to help us get through that. But I was actually going through a massive transformation. I was going through a huge spiritual journey myself. Always been connected to spirituality. I was born into a spiritual family. It was normal to talk about.
I wanted to know that about you, Victoria, because the work you do now. So you were always sort of, because you spoke there about, everything felt out of alignment. So were you aware of that? Could you feel that at the time?
I could, but it was very scary, and I felt I'd be judged. Yeah, I felt I'd be judged, and and I'm sure there's a lot of women that feel like this. That we please people. We want to please everybody. We don't want to be the odd one out. So I made decisions based on what I thought or was feeling, how other people would react to them, and not really honouring who I am, which is so important. But it is scary. But I had to learn to trust myself, and by trusting myself and taking action, my life literally changed. It was a 360 degree. I was looking down on myself prior to that, going, who am I? What am I doing? I don't feel like I belong anywhere. I couldn't fit. It was a very strange time for me. And then struggling to try and find what therapies are going to work for me, what tools and techniques are going to work. And although I spent quite a lot of time then healing. I went through a big healing period of clearing a lot of my past experiences. And this is when I went through a massive learning and studying journey of psychology, neuroscience, mindset, resilience, and oh my gosh, opened a whole new world to me. So for 5 years, while I was sort of transitioning from the job centre to work for myself, I was on this path of really learning, understanding what's going on in the mind, where's the connection with the body, with the emotions, and then sort of weaving that spirituality into everything as well, and going, oh, this feels nice to have this scientific based tools and techniques at one side, and then weaving the energetics and the spirituality into it. It felt like something truly unique and amazing for me, which is how I work now. So it was at that point I was going through a divorce, and the spirituality, to be absolutely honest with you, helped me through the divorce, the separation, and being able to really stand on my own 2 feet, because I was taken care of in my marriage. I was financially taken care of, and what I realised was that was very disempowering for me. So for me, a lot of learning around, I want to be a financially independent woman. That's what I strive to be. I know there's lots of women out there too that want to be that, but it's very scary moving out of a relationship where you felt financially taken care of, and then all of a sudden you're there on your own going, how am I going to do this? But you can, and I say that from having a couple of pounds in my purse and going, what on earth am I going to do, to running a lovely thriving business that takes care of me. If I can do that, anybody can do that. But it is having the support network and the tools and techniques, and listening to you, really allowing yourself to go deep and go, what do I really desire? And it's safe to do that. So leaving the marriage was obviously right. It was the right decision. It wasn't easy. But lent on my spirituality, lent on the growth that came with the healing. Don't need to go into too much details, but obviously there was things going on in the marriage that made me realise I can't be here anymore. And the growth from that has allowed me to really explore, how can I help other women with everything I've gone through, all of my learning, my skills, my capabilities, my psychic capabilities as well, which I've always used all my life. How can I bring all that together and help support other women that are feeling very similar to me, want to break free from that cycle of want to be that independent woman, might be struggling in a relationship, don't want to settle anymore, want to feel empowered to go, I can do that.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, with everything that I've experienced and come to understand, is where I am now is what I want to do and help people with, women with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we spoke earlier, you touched on that about you want people to know they don't have to settle. I think that's so important, because we are not, society doesn't tell us that, it doesn't nourish our dreams and ambitions. And
very lonely when you're going through that, particularly if you're just feeling that I don't feel good enough, I don't feel brave enough, I don't feel courageous enough, I don't feel what if it fails, what if I, what if it doesn't work out for me, what if I am brave enough and I make that choice and then it doesn't work out for me. But it will work out for you.
Yeah.
It will. It's got to do. If you follow and make decisions that come from that place, that inner place, from your intuition, from you, from your soul, then you will make the right decisions that are for you. And that doesn't mean you won't have challenges, but it means that you'll be. Challenges are for growth. That's what we're here for. But it means that you are literally going to align yourself to what you desire.
Yeah.
And I always say, sometimes we just have to go. If we think too much about things, the subconscious mind starts to take over and try to keep us safe. And it's like, stay where you are. I want to protect you. And it's like, no, I've got to go.
Yeah, I think what people need to understand as well, we're all, we've all got access to the same mindset tips and tools and support. Yes. It is out there and it is within us. Yeah. And I like to say, dance with the fear, because you will feel it. You will. There's no getting away from it.
Yeah.
When you, obviously around the time you were, going through a divorce and then coming out of one career into another, I like to call it, I would say it's more of a purpose and passion than career. Yeah. But how did you navigate through that fear? How did you just, like you say, you just do it?
Yeah. I think for me, because I built up so much passion and love for the vision, for what I wanted to do, I couldn't undo what I knew to be true now. It was like, I can't go back. I've got to move. And as scary as that felt, actually taking that step forward, it's never as scary as what you think it's going to be anyway. But I just had to move. Some of the situations that I threw myself into were, I'd come away thinking, why am I doing that? I can't, what am I doing? I can't do that. But you can do it. You can. And like you say, we just have to feel that we are human beings. We have emotions. We can't hide away from that. But the more you do those scary things, the less scary things become. The more you build up your confidence. We have to build confidence. We can't, buy it. It's just not going to sort of turn up. You don't decide, I'm going to be confident today. It's like, go and do some things that make you feel a little bit scary, and you'll build your confidence. So for me, it was just that I've just got to keep moving. Once I started moving and making those decisions, it felt a lot easier to continue. It was that first step, when you're going, oh, I just got to, you put your little toe in, don't you, step back and go, no, I've got to keep going. So sometimes we just need that little bit of a shove behind us, don't we, just to say, come on, it's okay, it's safe to go that way. Yeah, absolutely.
And with the work that you chose to go into now, obviously it's more on the spiritual side, and you said you've always, your whole life, had that spiritual aspect and intuition. Yeah. Did you face any criticism? Was there, or did people just think, oh, that's just Victoria, it's expected?
Well, yeah, family and friends, they know this is sort of behind the scenes parties, angel cards, tarots, or, just that knowing that I have, that intuitive connection to people. But when I took the contracts, because once I left working for, being a job coach, I set up my own business, and out of nowhere, and this is what happens when you follow your passions, opportunities started to pop up for me. So there's an opportunity to work in a school with secondary children around resilience and mindset. Never done that before. You know, I had to stand in an assembly in front of hundreds of sort of 16, 17-year-olds looking at me like that, as if to say, who are you? That was a scary thing, but I did it. I felt that fear and I did it. And you know what? It was an incredible experience. So working in that setting with resilience and mindset, but I was working my sort of magic in the background because I could feel what their desires were. I could feel what they truly wanted to, what they were aspiring towards. And with that intuition and that sort of connection, they felt listened to, they felt understood. Like, you get me more than anybody. You know, you listen to us. So it was a beautiful experience for me. And then I spent quite a bit of time working for a charity in a hospital in Leeds. And I worked in the family support unit. So I was supporting the children with cancer, and I was supporting the siblings. Some were bereaved, others weren't. I was doing a lot of therapy. I was doing colour healing. And there was all sorts going on. I think this period of time for me, working in the school, working with the children that were poorly. Then I went on and got a contract working with addictions, so drug and alcohol addictions, spending time helping them, supporting them. I was starting to feel that real wave of that real spiritual connection to that individual. It was that purposeful, why are they experiencing this? What are they gaining from all of this? What is it they aspire to do? And again, like you've just said, in these settings, I couldn't stand there and go, oh, I'm just connecting to my intuition. Yeah. Consultants are coming in and we're having meetings about what's going on. So there was a lot of fear for me, a lot of fear. It took me quite a bit of time to go, I've got to be this person. I have to. There's a lot of women that what they call hide in the spiritual closet because they're so frightened of judgment and fear that they stay where they are because they don't think they're going to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
And I remember having a conversation with the headmaster at one of the schools I was working in, and you know, sharing little bits of this, and he said, yeah, I can feel that with you. And I'm like, okay, that was easy. That was the first little step. So once I started to open the conversation up a little bit around and aligning to who I am, being truthful, things started to work out for me, and it wasn't as bad as what I thought. And you know, I'm sure there's people in the background thinking, what is she doing? But it doesn't matter, because when you feel passionate about what you do, you look forward, not back. It's like, no, I'm heading this way. If you want to come with me, that's walk alongside, and that's lovely. If you don't, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Yeah. But it just takes a little bit. It takes a little bit of time to build that confidence up around that. But there are a lot of women out there that have well, everybody has gifts and capabilities. Nobody's unique or special, because a lot of my clients will say, you have these gifts. I say, no, we all have them. You've just got to tap into them. That's all you need to do. You know, there's nothing different. The only thing I've done differently is I've moved with it and connected to it and allowed it. So it's just been, you know, and allowing that to unfold as well. You know, so
and we all have, you know, our own gifts and powers, and I think that's a message that I'm talking about all the time, is for people to step into their own power. They really do. And I think we all know deep down, and we probably always have known deep down, what we want to do with our lives, but we suppress it because, like I said, it's not nourished. We're not encouraged. School doesn't encourage us. Society, TV, you know, it's all. I guess if we're going really woo-woo and spiritual here, it's all very low vibrational. And
absolutely.
So we suppress our desires and our dreams and our goals.
We do.
And is that part of the work you do as well? Because I know that's...
Oh, absolutely. Vibration frequency is huge.
And,
you know, working with people, clearing, you know, truth creation to me is so powerful. Not only does it, you know, you start to set up a habit of telling yourself something, it holds a vibration. You know, we're clearing out the past, we're clearing the energy away, the low vibration. And with that comes healing. There's impact, the cellular impact. You know, there's ailments that start to, you know, this is why we have a lot of ailments. And once you start to clear that, you start to heal, the cells heal. And, it's such a big topic, you know, and one that, one of my desires is that this can be spoken more about and talked about. openly. Absolutely.
So with your work, Victoria, what does the future hold for you? How far do you want to take this?
Oh my gosh, this is really interesting, and I think it's always divine timing that we're having this conversation, but I've just been going through and realigning it, I guess, to what do I want to do next. And I want to, a lot of speaking for me, I want to be out there because I want to spread and open conversations and offer a safe place for people, women, to feel empowered to go, okay, this is normal. Let's normalise spirituality. Let's normalise connecting to my feelings and what I'm hearing and what my desires are. So for me, it's the impact, absolutely. And for me to achieve that, I need to be seen in bigger spaces. So I'm finding now, moving away, I'm doing one-to-one work still, but like my group programs and things I've put to one side. I want to get out there. So I'm looking at events, workshops, all sorts of different ideas are popping up now. I say ideas, guidance actually, it's not really ideas. I'm aligning to my passion, and because of that, everything's surfacing and saying, well, this is what you want to do, this is what you want to do. So getting out there and speaking more definitely really lights me up.
And what about for you, putting work aside, is there anything that you're longing for you personally?
Oh my gosh, I just want to feel fulfilled. But I want to, and what I feel as well is if I'm fulfilled, it's the balance, the family, life and work. I know that work for me is very important, just like family is. But when I'm fulfilled in work, it's an overflow into my life, into my family. It's just fulfillment. I want to feel passion and fulfillment and love. That's what I want to feel. Absolutely. Yeah.
And what about, just for the viewers listening, is there any empowering or inspiring moment or a moment that you'd like to share that will give others hope for their own journey?
Absolutely, yeah. Hope's really important, and it's something that we do struggle with. And I love that saying, and I can't remember the exact words. It's a Wizard of Oz. You always have the power. You just have to learn how. And it's a little bit like that. And the moment when I realise that I've got everything within me to do the things I want to do, I've just got to listen and trust and allow. And that moment was so profound for me. And I do remember it to this day. You've been stood there going, it's actually, I've got everything I need. I've just got to allow. So if you can really align to that, if you're listening and feeling, I don't, where's the hope? You've lost the hope. Just, stop for a moment, close your eyes and take a big deep breath and just allow yourself to feel the whole essence of who you are from that soul perspective and go, you've got it all within you. It's all there.
Yeah.
And you'll feel that. You might get a tingly feeling or just a spark of something that will help you to connect to hope. It's that you've got it all within you. It's it's a beautiful experience to actually realise I can do that.
Yeah, to not ignore or push aside the dreams and desires as well. But
oh my gosh,
I think
no.
I feel like it's your soul talking to you and telling you
absolutely.
your purpose and passion. So,
yeah. I mean, if I can just add a little bit to that.
Yeah.
Because I love the, talking about the soul, intuition, but your soul's within you. It's always been there, and it literally knows everything. It knows everything you desire. So if you imagine you've got this personal navigation system, like a sat nav in a car. Put your destiny. Where is it I want to go? What do I want to do? It'll take you there. Yeah. It will take you there, and it's there for you to use.
Yeah.
And when you start to feel that, the truth of that, oh my gosh, you'll be just moving in directions that you are now dreaming of, but yet you'll be doing that. You'll be, this is possible. It's like turning the possibilities into the probabilities. If you connect to your soul and your intuition and allow that to lead you, because it's only going to lead you towards the things that you desire, and desires feel good. It's coming from that. It's coming from a place of love. Your soul is desiring you to connect and allow your soul to lead you. So get going. That's what I say to everyone. Just get going. Just allow. Just try it. You just try it. If you're a bit sceptical and thinking, well, I'm off jobs for me, give it a go. Be open-minded and see where it leads you. Absolutely.
I think that's a great note to end on as well.
Thank
So
you.
I will leave details here for anyone who feels called to come and contact you, Victoria. And thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you so much. It's been lovely.
It's
really
okay.
lovely.
I'm so glad that you agreed to come on. And
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed listening to Victoria today as much as I did. If you feel called to get in touch with Victoria, all details on how to do so are in the description below. And if you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe and you'll be notified when the next episode comes out.